Hey y'all, I hope all is going good for you all. So, don't mind my voice. I know I sound a little bit off. Uh, it's my throat, but nonetheless, we're going to get into this word. I know this word is for somebody. Uh, Now, the Lord has spoken, said that timing is everything. Okay? Timing is everything. Now, when it comes down to timing, a lot of the times we want to do things according to our timing, or when we feel like we think things should be done, how they should be done, and everything like that, and trying to take certain matters and things into our own hands in the process, and pretty much saying, "Hey, God," in other words, I'm I want you to take your hands off of this. Although I did give it to you to do, I'm telling you to take your hands off of this, and I'm gonna take full control over this thing. Is what you're saying when you go that particular route, without you really realizing it. And that's one of the things that you don't want to do. Trust and believe me, I'm telling you, oh my God, that'll be the worst possible thing you could do. So even when it is difficult, you can't see exactly what's going on, what's next. You don't understand the plan and things like that. You still have to be willing to say, Lord, have your way. You're in control. I give you full control over the situation, whatever it may be. Um, and that's a very hard lesson that I myself had to learn, honestly. And one thing for sure is you want to make sure that when you moving, when he tells you to move, the time that he tell you to move, that's when you need to move. You don't need to move any earlier, and you don't need to move any later, but you need to move exactly in that time that he is telling you to. Because if you do it too early, you might find yourself facing certain things that you wouldn't have had to face had you just waited. And what did it say in his word? Those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles, and they shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and never faint. You might find yourself faint, trying to move too fast. And another thing he said in his word is, we don't need to be too hasty, right? To go away from him and his presence. Now, if you move too late, you might miss the mark. So you definitely don't want to do nothing after the fact of whatever time he has told you, because there's certain opportunities and there's certain things that he's calling us into that they have certain time limits on them. So you have to move accordingly. You can't be scared either. You can't be scared. And it's a simple act of him testing your faith. Okay? Now, one of the examples that he's given to me was in Exodus, right? In Exodus, he spoke about the different plagues that he did, right? Now it says here, now this very last plague was very brutal. And this is what he tells the Israelites. He says, for I will pass through the land of Egypt that night, and I will strike all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both men and beasts, and on all of the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. The blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and no plague will befall you or destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt, right? So, if they do not place that blood where it needs to be at the time that he's telling them to do it, they going to get struck down. Because if you read further, if you go into the 29th verse in this same chapter, and I'm in Exodus 12, by the way, it says, at midnight, the Lord struck down all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sat on his throne, to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the livestock. In the midnight hour, the Lord did not waste no time. And in the same manner, he don't want us to waste no time either. He want us to move when he move, flow when he flow. When he tell us to go, we got to be ready, y'all. We got to be ready. Now, this timing also has to do with divine protection, judgment, and spiritual reflection all in the same time. Now, I believe we have covered the two, divine protection and judgment, as you can see according to Exodus. Now, spiritual reflection, ultimately, what he was telling me was, when you cried out, when you poured out your heart to him, he heard you. And he is indeed going to save you from every bit of trouble that you're facing. But he's ultimately saying too, as well, your mode of living, your lifestyle, your habits, your routines, your attitudes, your values, and your choices on a daily basis, right? Those things, he had to train you up in those certain areas. A deliberate training, he says, so that it would depict both the inward shaping that was necessary for you and the outward conduct as well for you. So he had to bring all of those different aspects and things together. And ultimately, for some of you now, that portion of your training is done. And he's saying that now you can have rest. He's giving you divine rest in this hour right now. And that, my friends, is the word today. So I pray that you take this word back to the Lord and confirm what parts are in relation to you. God bless y'all. I love y'all. And I will catch y'all on the next word. Take care.